In a world where silence is often misunderstood as weakness, one African leader just reminded the world that silence can also be strategy. Burkina Faso's president, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, finally broke his silence. And when he spoke, he didn't just respond to General Michael Langley of US AFRICOM. He tore through the entire Western military, media, and economic establishment with just a few words. Langley, the head of US AFRICOM, accused Traoré of using the country's gold to maintain personal power. But instead of reacting immediately, Traoré waited. And when he finally spoke, he chose his stage carefully. When Langley dropped his accusation, Western media ran wild. Headlines painted Traoré as a dictator hoarding gold. They called him unaccountable, dangerous, a threat to democracy. But Traoré said nothing. No press conference. No angry tweet. Instead, he kept working. While the media spun lies, he was busy building factories, expanding gold processing, and creating something Burkina Faso had never had before, its own gold reserves. Let that sink in. For decades, Burkina Faso was one of the top gold producers in Africa. But the people saw nothing. The gold left the country. The wealth left with it. Foreign companies came, dug up the land, and walked away with billions, leaving behind poverty and polluted earth. Traoré changed the rules. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso built its first national gold refinery, a symbol of economic sovereignty. He created a national central bank policy to protect gold within African hands. And for the first time, the country began to keep its wealth, not ship it to Paris, London, or Washington. So when Langley accused him of clinging to power with gold, Traoré didn't just see an insult. He saw a war on African independence. Weeks passed. Silence continued. And then, Russia. While attending a security and economic forum in Moscow, Traoré finally answered the accusations. They say I'm using gold to stay in power. But who has been using Africa's gold for centuries? Who has military bases on our soil? Who destabilizes African nations, then calls us unstable? The room went silent. And then, it erupted. Traoré wasn't just answering Langley. He was speaking directly to the soul of Africa, and its stolen wealth, its stolen dignity, and its stolen truth. He asked, why is it criminal when an African leader wants to control his country's resources, but heroic when Western nations do the same? Why is gold a problem in Traoré's hands, but a strategic asset in Fort Knox? His message was clear. Africa's resources belong to Africans. And no foreign general will tell us otherwise. The world took notice. Across the continent, from Mali to South Africa, people cheered. From Kingston, Jamaica, the Pan-African diaspora rose in support. Musicians, scholars, activists, black voices from the Caribbean, the UK, the US stood with Traoré. They saw the truth behind the headlines. This wasn't just about gold. This was about narrative warfare, who controls the African story. Because here's the reality. Western media ignores African success. They magnify African struggle. They downplay African strength. And they fear African unity. How many reports celebrated Burkina Faso's gold refinery? How many headlines talked about the factories Traoré built, the young engineers trained, the jobs created? But the minute an American general speaks, it's global news. Traoré's response is more than a clapback. It is a wake-up call. It reveals a deep, uncomfortable truth. African sovereignty is treated as a threat. African confidence is called arrogance. And African leadership is questioned, simply for not obeying foreign interests. But the tide is turning. The people of Burkina Faso are reclaiming their land, their gold, their future. And more Africans are seeing the pattern, demonize the bold, praise the obedient. At Trending News Plus, we are not just here to report stories. We are here to challenge the narrative. To every African watching, from Lagos to Harlem, from Accra to Kingston, we ask you this. When they speak lies about our leaders, will we stay silent? Or will we speak louder, stronger, and united? We must recognize the bias. We must support the truth. And most importantly, we must stand with those who fight for Africa, not those who sell it out. Traoré's gold isn't the problem. His courage is. Because when Africa rises with bold leadership, the world shakes. This is Trending News Plus, where Africa speaks for itself. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, if the truth sounds too powerful, it's probably because it is.